All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in at July 29th, and I am very, very excited. The stock market is at a very pivotal point, and it has to do with earnings still in full effect. If you guys are going to see what's happening next week, if you thought the party was over, there's a bunch more companies reporting, and then there's also the Fed meeting on Wednesday, which is going to have a lot of implications, and honestly the market's been implying a lot so far, so we're going to go over that. I got some keys for this next week and even a play of the week I want to go over, and then we're going to go over the companies. And we've been coming off a very good few weeks, and you are going to see the first thing that I want to talk about is make sure we keep that streak going and make sure you guys are smart and have a strategy and approach. I'm going to go over the plays here in the Robinhood account, and this was we had some pretty good moves on this, and I encourage you guys to watch that video we just posted. A lot of people found it helpful, and I think it is going to be helpful, and you're probably going to hear me reference a lot of stuff from that video as well. So let's get into it, but before we do that, you know what you guys need to do. The most important thing, you got to post your watch list below. That's why we got the chat. That's why we got this. All of this is to source information. So let me know what you guys are playing, what you're watching, what you're interested in. Give a little bit of description, a lot. It's up to you, but just post it. Make sure you drop your thumbs up on the video and make sure you are there live, because we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It is pinned in the description, or first link in the description and pinned in the comments. So now that we got that out of the way, like I said, I'm going to share the plays that I'm holding here in the Robinhood that you could see, because a lot of them are coming into next week. Some are leading up into earnings, some will have earnings, but before that, we got to talk about our keys for tomorrow. Come with the peace, my friends. Chill out. Don't expect too much. It's better to be late than wrong. And now, don't get in this. If you've already made money, you're coming off, and you're even seeing some people are they're like, I'm about to go green again, or now they're so far in the green. Regardless of the situation, don't let that affect you too much, and just chill out. And this is really what the thing I wanted to put here. I didn't finish writing it, but if the Fed doesn't cut, and like people are expecting, it's going to have a negative reaction, but I don't think it's going to be as crazy as we could expect, or even then it will be difficult to expect, which is why I'm saying it's better to be late than wrong. But please, my friends, just don't give back the monies, okay? You made the money, don't give it back. It is your money, please. If you don't want the money, give it to me. Give to homeless man. Give to anybody, but don't give it back to the market maker, You guys got to be smart with it, and that's going to be the key. This is part of the development as a trader. If you guys really want to become good traders, it is knowing when to shoot the ball and when not to shoot the ball. So again, if there is opportunity, let's definitely take them, but at the same time too, don't force it. We had a live stream last night on Saturday, and that concept came up. Don't force it. If it's going to happen, and if it's a good play, the risk management's there, it will come to you. But don't try to force it in. That's where the problems happen. So beyond that now, what makes tomorrow and the rest of this week in the stock market at a pivotal point right here, it has to do with the rate hikes or the rate cuts in this case. And that is going to be happening on Monday or Wednesday. And that's what we have to prepare through for Monday. Till then, if there's no melt up, prepare for even a cuck with slight showers from the reporting companies. And what I mean by that, you're going to see individual moves, but at the same time, the market, there's a good chance I think it could continue going up. Again, Trump did announce that news on Friday with the whole trade war and everything else, and us even closing at the all-time highs, but it's still going to be very dependent upon how the market gets ready coming into Wednesday. And then moving forward, it's going to be whatever the decision is, how does the market react? So that will give us a lot of insight. And again, it's going to set up an opportunity for a lot of plays. However, the key is making sure you don't spend too much, because in a situation like this with expectations kind of baked in and the potential for a big action to come out, the premiums could be overpriced. Or if we don't get as big as a movement as people are pricing in, then that's where you get hit on it. And a lot of these earnings, we've seen it day after day so far over these last watch lists. A big key and a big part has been playing these plays post earnings when the premium is dropping, and then you're able to snag them real quick. But regardless, I am going to be looking to grab puts tomorrow and trim calls, or I'm going to decide to keep some of the calls I have, because I have a lot of calls. This whole Robinhood portfolio is calls. but I will be looking either, if I do decide to keep the calls, I'm going to try to hedge it with more puts. But my dilemma is, if you buy the puts and your calls are there, if you get cucked, if the stock market drops but not as much as the puts to get you in that protection zone, you're not going to be able to profit off of it. So there's that. Now let's get to the play of the week, because we had a nice play on the Netflix, and that was last week. We talked about it a few times, and I think this is a play that's related to why, there's a good reason to understand the things going on with it. And then even now related to the option chain, it's going to be Bank of America. And my play with it is looking anything from August down to September, or even the next weeks if you want to. And this is where I'm saying you guys get to decide from there. I'm going to be looking at a few different ones. I'll show you the ones I have in mind, but I'm looking for a play to play it both ways. It seems like it's at a crucial point here, and you could play it pretty cheap on both sides. That's decently getting you near the money with some time. It's near those 52-week highs. It had the Warren Buffett news over the weekend, or on Friday. The price itself is at this equilibrium on the year. Even if you put it on the 2-year, it's kind of like right there. It's just below. So even then, it's holding its value pretty well. And like I said, too, if it does do good, it'll be at new 52-week highs. Or if it drops, it's going to start kind of trading near its mean and the equilibrium it's set. And then lastly, the rate cuts or staying the same, how the market interprets that, and whatever happens, it will have an effect on the banks. And we've seen after any of these interest rate decisions what has happened with the bank stock. So I'm going to be looking out for that. The plays I want to look at is August 16th or August 9th. I think I might go with August 16th. The difference is it's pretty much 50 cents in the money. And what I mean by both ways, I like the $29 puts, 11 cents. Again, you can play 11 cents on the downside and then even get the 32.50s or the 32s for 17 or 10 cents. You're going to be spending about $20-$30 both ways. If you do get the August 9th, the next week instead of the October 16th, you're able to get a lot closer to the money. And, if you're getting in this range, $32 or $31.50 and the 30, you could play both sides for $40. And again, what I'm hoping for is that this rate cut meeting, and again, you can kind of see it on the chart. Usually it's going to get some big moves from there, and it hasn't been moving a lot, which is keeping these prices low. So surprisingly, the implied volatility is not too high on those. But I'm going to keep watch on these, either August 9th or the August 16th. Remind me about these in the morning and let me know what you guys think. But I'd keep it eye just for the rest of the week. Again, how does this play up coming into the Fed meeting, and then what happens afterwards? There is that. But now for the rest of the plays, these are the plays in the Robinhood account. And you guys can see I'm holding them. We played TTD. This was a play with Amazon. They announced that they're doing a deal with them with advertising and stuff like that. But watch them. We're still holding the Starbucks coming into next week. The UNHs I really like. We got the Zoom, we got the Shopify. These ones are dead. And then I'd say Roku and then Crowd. Those are the final ones. So every single one of them I have up here. Again, the TTT one is related to the Amazon news. If it does have a continuation, we're pretty far out the money. I have those 330 calls, but if you were on stream, I did grab these 300 TTDs. We got them at 60 cents again, and that was a good one to watch. If you guys go watch when we made this trade live, you could see how we, that play when it came out, we were analyzing the market maker and looking at the option chain to get good plays. But I stole that option, and it was just taking advantage of the news and being there pretty quick too. But I think this could have a continuation. And why I like TTD, all of these plays, Roku, Shopify's coming into earnings. And why I like it is because all of these plays, but especially TTD, they have their own earnings coming up, but even then, regardless of what happens in the market, some people might use these to rotate into. So that's why I think leading up to the Fed meeting, this could be good. But my dilemma is deciding how I'm going to be cutting off all of these. So I have to pretty much decide out of Crowd, Roku, Shopify, Zoom, which ones I want to hold, because these are the ones that are those rotational effects. The UNHs, Starbucks, and TTD, they're kind of in their own league. And again, I'd watch UNH next week. It's finally bottomed out. We're going to see what happens. And again, if there is any politics or political news or policy that could change it, we've seen how it's reacted lately, but I like where it's at. We got those next week 260s. I think they're already up 100% almost. So keep your eye out for that. And like we've discussed, any of these plays, when I bring them up on the watch list, even then you guys could, I'm showing you this here. You could note down every one of these strike prices if you want. Then don't ask me to list them. Just literally press pause on your screen and go write them down. But if you wait and see to when these fall out of the money, or excuse me, not even out of the money, but if they lose their value, they may be more appetizing and a better value. Even if they go up on Monday, by Wednesday they could be down and then back up by Thursday or Friday. But watch those and take note. And again, if you're on the stream alerts, I encourage you to, you have a text history of all the plays. Start writing them down and put the ones you like on charts and wait until they drop down and go from there. But that's where I'm saying keep your eye out for this UNH and how it develops throughout the week. That might even be my secondary play of the week besides the Bank of America. So keep your eye out for that. Starbucks too. We're going to be holding the rollover, and if it is going to play like it has on some of these other good earnings, I'm watching for the magnet near the psychological level of 100, but also any of these post earnings where they have done really, really good. And again, this is going to be a rotational stock depending on what happens in the market. It could have some good moves in it. I'm looking for a multi-day rally, but my thing is too, I want to see what the price of some of these puts get now, because if it is able to make even a big jump or gap up, those puts are going to be really cheap, and some puts, I think August 16th could be a little bit good there. So watch all those plays. Those are the ones I'm going to be holding. We're going to be managing those on stream and deciding what we're going to do with them. But next, we still have that BYND play. They report tomorrow, Monday. So that's going to be exciting. And what I've started to realize, I think I've figured out how you guys could play these. The options are crazy. I bought the option a long time ago. It went up, but I did it on Friday, and it was still, again, it all depends on the prices that it's going to trade at. But I'm going to look to play weighted butterflies. So that's a term that I've coined where it's pretty much playing a butterfly, and we're getting the further ones out that are, somewhat more out of the money. But the whole point is kind of weighting it to one direction. So a butterfly it's a lower probability play. And if you guys are curious what is a butterfly, how to play it, go search the Trading Fraternity Butterflies, and you'll see the video we have on it. I have a full explanation on it. But if we could get the butterflies, it's going to make the plays cheaper. But I'm looking to play even butterflies to the top side, but mainly the put side, because I already have that call. And hopefully I did sell the premium on that one. That's already pretty much in the money there. So we're down on it. My gain is pretty much maximized. But that contract's till November, and the other one expires this week. So we're going to see what happens there. But essentially, I'm going to look for a normal butterfly with an extra put on the bottom side, and I'm going to be looking for the put butterflies to be able to play the downside, if anything. But some people are like, is BYND going to go crazy? 300, maybe, who knows? But at the end of the day, if it's already ran up as much as it did, a lot of that could be pricing in the move. So it's already a big mover regardless, and we saw what happened last earnings. So we'll see here. And again, depending on what they do report for the earnings, it could be pretty surprising. And that's even actually what I'm worried about on this Shopify play. Again, if you even look one of their last quarters, they look very, very similar when they've made any of these big runs in 2018. Then when they had their earnings, they, again, both in June and in March, they fell off pretty hardcore. So I'm kind of worried with that on the Shopify, even though I like the call. So we're going to see how that has to play out too. But watch BYND, watch all those plays. The next thing I want to keep my eye out for is Disney. We have the August 8th. I have August 16th or September play I made for the spreads. But watch them coming into earnings. And if they do start to break out, they're at a crucial point. The contracts are still pretty expensive, but these could be stuff we could look at tomorrow. Watch Dillard's. I want to make sure we didn't forget about this one, because now it's spent some time up here. It's had those pops. We got pump faked a few times. I think that could be one that, again, sometime this week it could start to fall through, or it could actually continue up. Lululemon now, and this is for next week, and we have a lot of earnings tomorrow. I will cover these all throughout the watch list, but as they start to report, but we are going to get a lot of retail companies, and Lululemon is a great one. And again, with how they are with everything else, once these companies report, they could either react to it in sympathy, or people might even rotate to it. But I like Lululemon. I believe we already have the call side for next week. Apple is going to be reporting, and I have that big Apple position on the spreads I sold. I think it's going to be kind of like Facebook, where it's kind of made a move, and we saw Facebook's earnings where it will probably move in line, but kind of just stay cucked in the middle. And I think the option premiums might be more expensive than what it's going to move. I think worst case scenario, I might grab some of the next weeks to just hedge that position just in case it does make another crazy pop. But other than that, we need to pay attention to see if it slows down or not coming in and getting ready for this report. Next, watch Netflix. It made that move above the 330, and now it's at 335. So if it does start to get even more strength like next week, and that's why we also have Roku too, is kind of a sympathy, but watch that. It may be a little bit more difficult to play, but we're going to keep our eyes out for that, and I encourage you not to forget about it. And then NXPI, they're related to Apple, chip maker. They report tomorrow, and that could be a decent one. So there's that. And then now to the final chart, watch McDonald's. They reported, and that's exactly what we needed, my friends. Now that the report is over, you guys know we haven't really been able to touch it recently, especially with how those premiums were. They got the premium crushed, they got the earnings, so now this could start setting up for a play. We have the earnings, we see where it's at, and we see how everything else is. So I'm going to keep my eye out for McDonald's, FedEx as well, because again, UPS had a good quarter. We saw UPS really rock it up, so I want to see, does UPS continue? And UPS could end up being the winner, but we might even see FedEx do something like that. There kind of might be a push and pull, and they'll take turns which one goes with which. And then also Boeing, don't forget these last moves it had. If this continues into this week, and again, it starts slicing through the 330, the 345, the 342 levels like butter and keeps going down, this is going to be pretty bad. And we still have those other contracts we're holding that are still up 200%. And again, the same logic with Facebook. It's kind of been slipping, and I said it reminded me of Boeing. So we'll see kind of how this plays out. And then again, now too, that reminds me of Google. You guys saw their earnings. They did very, very good. They had a weird close, but again, the earnings could still continue up for tomorrow. So I'm going to keep my eyes out for that. And then lastly, there was Under Armour too. Again, retail, they're going to have earnings. I think they could be decent. This one's kind of the one I'm undecided on. I'm going to be watching throughout the week, but we'll see. Let me know your feedback. But that is all the plays, everybody. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure you got your thumbs up on the video and you're subscribed. And we're going to see you in the morning on the live streaming channel. Let's go!